Welcome to this episode. In this episode, we're going to talk about the arc and the spiral tool. They are quite similar in how they work, so that makes it really easy, and that's why I combined them in one episode. Let's have a look. To the left, you have your tools, and here you have your line segment tool with the shortcut key of the backslash. If you click and hold, you can see the line segment tool, of course, and you see 4 other tools. A neat trick is if you go to the right till it turns a little bit darker and you release your mouse, it will pull out an extra menu. I do it again. So you can click and hold and then select the tool, but if you're going to use it more than once in a file or in a project, then go to the right. I didn't release my mouse, I still hold it till it turns dark, and if you release, you will get the sub menu of this tool, these tools. Sorry. So I like if I work with a tool more than once and they're in a sub menu and I don't have a shortcut key, I like to use this sub menu so I can access it easily. So one little tip, you can also save this in a workspace. So if you want to save your workspace, these menus will be in there as well. So open it up, save your workspace, and you will have it in your workspace when you select it. That's just a extra side tip. Okay, let's go. This is the arc tool. And the arc tool does what it says. It makes arcs. So you can do it in a few ways. You can click and you get this menu. There you can say from which point you want to origin your settings. So from the left, bottom left, top right, or bottom right. I just go for the standard, for the default, top left. Here you can tell how wide your arc should be, and here how high. So say I want it 100 pixels wide, and I want it 200 pixels high. Open means an open path, so it has a beginning and an end, and when you close it, it will close the path by adding extra points. I will show you in a second. Just do the open one first. This base along is what side you will use to base your arc along. Do you want to base it along the horizontal axis, the x-axis, or the vertical axis, the y-axis? Slope, this will be the direction of your slope, so it will be 50 outwards, and if you want to do it inwards, you need to go to the minus concave, then it will go minus. I will leave it at default 50, and fill arc is if you want to fill it with the front color. So my color is now to none, so it will fill it with none, so no color. But if I have a color selected here, it will fill the arc with my front color. So we'll leave it out now. We can do that in a second. Okay. Now it made that arc. Okay, the second thing you can do is we just clicked and then you get this menu, escape to go out of it. If you click and hold and then you drag, you can make an arc like whatever you want. It starts here at this point and then you can put the other point wherever you want. If you hold your shift key, it will make it in proportion. So like a part of the circle. If you hold your Option or Alt key, it will change both of the points. So if I release my Option Alt key, it will this point will stay where it is, and I can change this one. If I hold my Option or Alt key, both of the points will change. So I'll release, so I leave this one here. And the last trick I can show you is to hold your spacebar. I still hold my mouse, I didn't release it. Hold your spacebar, and now I can move the whole arc. And as long as I hold my mouse and don't release, I can change the arc to whatever I want. As soon as I release, I can't change it. That's something to be aware of, because when we clicked, I click this tool and I click, you get this menu, escape, And if I double click it, I get this menu as well. But now I have this one selected, but even if I change something over here, it doesn't change the shape I just made. So as soon as you release your mouse, it's a final. If you have to change anything, you have to do it again or use other tools to change it. But you can set some settings up front. So let's say I want to have it closed now, and you can see a preview here. That will show you that it will make an arc with the settings we have put here. And it will close it by making a straight line here to the point where this one is, and a line down to the point where this one is. So it will make a half of a square actually, or a rectangle, to make it a full shape, a closed shape. And as you see, if I change it changes the way it's displayed. Because it's a square now, you only see it flipping up or down. So let's make this 100 and this one 200, so I can see it a little bit better. If I say open, you have the arc, close, it will close it by putting those lines in. So it's just flipping it around to another axis. And we can change the slope. You can see it's now inwards and now it's outwards. And the higher the number, the more the arc will slope over here. Fill it. We leave it off for now because my color is still none. And say OK. And now you see we changed the settings, nothing changed. But as soon as I'm going to draw a new shape, it will use the settings I just put in the options display panel. Okay, the last thing I will do is show you with that color field. This one was selected, so that's why it's filled. So I will escape, Command C. We'll deselect everything so nothing will be affected. Double click, fill arc, and you can see the preview here. Change some settings. Let's make it 300. I want to have it closed. And let's make it a little bit, let's make it inward. But I want to have a little bit of bigger effect. Nothing happened because I just was putting the settings in place. As soon as I'm going to draw, I can make my arc with the settings I put in the display. Use my shift to make it in proportion, use my Option or Alt to change both, and use my spacebar to move it around. So that's the arc tool. I will delete this all. And then the second one, go here first, is the spiral tool. And again, I have the menu out so I can access it easily. This one doesn't have a special menu, so I can double click it but nothing happens. But there are some other tips and tricks you can apply. So let's do the first one. We just click and hold, and as soon as I'm dragging, a spiral will be made. And I can change the direction by going with my mouse. As soon as I release, it is final. So again, this is the same. I can't double click or double click here to change anything. It's final, so you can't change afterwards. You can of course change with something like direction, the direct selection tool. You can change the anchor points, but the spiral itself you can't change afterwards, the settings. Okay, so the second way to do it, just like with the arc tool, is not click and drag, but just click. We can set the radius, the decay 75%, and how many segments. Well, let's say 10. And we also can set the style, the direction. I don't really care because I can flip it later or mirror it in Illustrator, so it depends on what I'm making. But for me, it doesn't really matter how this setting is set. But you can set it to this way or this way, but it's actually upside down from this way, so you can flip it easily afterwards. Okay, this time it did make the shape you entered, because it wasn't a settings panel, but it is a way to draw. So by clicking and putting in your numbers, it will draw the shape you want. Escape to go out. But I can't change it anymore. So I will delete this for now and go back to the tool. And I go back to the first time that I said click and drag. And again, if I hold my space bar, I can move it. So I saw I was a little bit low, so I can move it up so you can see it better. And I can use the Command key. And if I drag, I still hold my mouse. I didn't release my mouse. As long as I hold my mouse, I can change things. So you can see I can change how the curls are made. And I can even make it so that it doesn't even look like, well, like a snail or a curl anymore. It does look like some rings. So if you want this, you can make it. Hold your Command key or Control key on the PC and you can change this. With your arrows up and down, you can change a number of segments. So I can turn them down or I can make more of them. And then I can go to the Command key and I can change how it's looking. With the Option key, it will add sections when I make it bigger. So normally if you draw, it keeps it how it was. If you normally draw, it will stay how it is. It just will enlarge your drawing. But if you hold your Option or Alt key, it will add or delete parts of your segments. So it will adjust your segments, as you can see. And as I release my Alt or Option key, it will stay the same. It just will enlarge it. Okay, the last one is the Shift key. If I hold this, I can go in 45-degree angles. So if you need to have it exactly horizontal or vertical, you can hold your Shift key to do this. I would recommend, if you need that, to do first your with your arrows how you want it, with your Command key and with the Alt key everything you want. And as soon as you're ready and you're satisfied, hold your Shift key and then release your mouse. So this is the way to make those beautiful arcs, spirals, and use all those keys. So the Shift key, the Alt or Option key, the Control or Command key, and the spacebar to move it, and the arrows to add or delete sections of this drawing. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you like this video, please subscribe, hit that little bell, and click the like button. Thank you for watching. See you in the next.